Tadu Haro, a 12-year-old boy who was literally bullied to death. And when I said literally, I mean it. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Nitin, and here on this channel, I'm just gonna talk. That's why I named the channel Nitin Talks. Here, I'm just gonna talk about some really interesting true crime stories. So, I hope you guys will enjoy them. It's gonna be a little bit different than the podcast. Maybe a solo podcast, but a little bit different and way different than the true crime documentary channels because the editing will be bit light. And so without wasting time, let's start the story. So our today's story is revolving around a 12-year-old boy named Tadu Haro. He was from Arunachal Pradesh, which is a state in India, and he was studying in an army school. And these sort of schools, the army schools, they are little bit different than the normal schools because first of all, these schools they have very high competition for the admissions because they are very limited in numbers, maybe just couple of hundreds in the whole country. And you guys know the population of India, so and the number of students competing for the admission, but very few ones, very lucky ones can get the admission there because to get admission in those schools, students have to crack the not IELTS exam. Sorry, my bad. I was about to say IELTS exam, not IELTS exam, but they have to crack the physical exam, physical test, physical training, and lot of other aspects they check for the students before giving them admission to those schools. And Tadu Haro was one of them who cracked that exam, which shows he was physically, mentally, emotionally, he was a very strong boy. No doubt about that. So, whatever happened with Tadu Haro, it all started on 31st of October 2025 when around 9:30 p.m. when all the students finished their dinner that day, they all went to their dormitories. And in the hostels, they have the different dormitories for different class students. Like 7th class students have their own dormitory, 8th class students have theirs, and then so on. Like 11, 12, they all have their own dormitories for the particular class. And around 9:30 when everyone was in their own dormitories, three students from 8th class dormitory, they entered the 7th class dormitory, the Tado Haru's dormitory, because he was in 7th class, so he was in his own dormitory, and there were other students as well who were from the from the same class as Tadu Haro. So those three students they went there and they started bullying them. Those three students they started bullying the 7th class students. They asked them to do the push-ups, lunges, lot of other exercises, and I don't know why, or maybe I know why. All of them were targeting Tadu Haro, especially they were targeting him. And I said maybe I know why I said that thing because Tadu Haro has two sisters, and one of his sister, Lunia Haro, she was Miss Arunachal Pradesh. So maybe they were just targeting him because she was Miss Arunachal Pradesh, and they were punishing the other students as well. But their focus was Tadu Haro. They gave him punishment. They asked him to keep his both hands on his back, put his head down on the floor, feet on the other side, and be like a pyramid. They kept him in a pyramid position for more than 30 minutes. But suddenly, after some time, eight students from 10th class they entered the same dormitory. So maybe at that point, the 7th class students they were thinking the 10th class students might help them. They might tell the eighth class students off for whatever they were doing, just bullying and ragging and torturing the juniors. That's what they were doing exactly, basically. And these topics are very concerning. They are very serious, especially like me, you guys, whoever is listening to this talk, whatever I'm doing here, this talk. If you guys think of your school time, if you guys recall that time, I guess all of you have seen someone in your school, maybe some group in your school, in your classrooms, doing that thing to the students. So this topic can be very serious. And this thing happen on a larger scale when when it's about hostels and boarding schools, because there no one is to take care of them, basically. In the hostel, especially, the students, they do lot of weird things in the nighttime, like torturing, bullying, this ragging. Ragging is an Indian term for that, for the bullying. But anyway, let's get back to the story. So those eight students from 10th class, instead of stopping the 8th class students for whatever they were doing, instead of telling them off, they started doing the same thing to those boys, to the 7th class students. And they were worse, actually. They were very rude. They were way worse than the 8th class students. 8th class students, they went back to their dormitory, and 10th class student continued the whole ragging, bullying, torturing process. So one of those guys from 10th class, he was behaving like their leader. He had a leather belt in his hand. He was hitting on the floor and shouting on the boys, on the young boys, on the 7th class students. And his target was also Tadu Haro. He threw his mattress away, he threw his books away. He threatened Tadu Haro that he will make his video, and in that video he'll mention Miss Arunachal Pradesh brother. Sorry, I forgot that whatever I was saying. So that's why I took a bigger pause. So he made that video, and in that video he was, I don't know, he made or he just threatened, but he was saying and threatening Tadu Haro that he'll make a video and viral on internet, and he'll mention in that video like Tadu Haro, Miss Arunachal Pradesh brother, is a thief. He stole their books and he's a thief. And he was punching his cupboard. And he was saying to Tadu Haro, this time he's punching the cupboard only, but maybe next time, sorry guys, maybe next time he gonna punch Tadu Haro. And he was just a young fella, a 12-year-old boy. They all were eight students from 10th class. All of them were older than him. They were like 15, 16, maybe 17, or maybe 18. Because I think one or two of them were over 18. I'm not too sure about that, but maybe. So they were older than him. They were just bullying him, being very bad. Like, their behavior was very aggressive. So they kept doing that for a couple of hours. When he became the pyramid, when he was in the pyramid position, by that punishment was given by the 8th class students. When he was being the pyramid, his hands were shaking, his legs were shaking, he was sweating, he was in pain. Imagine doing plank for 2 minutes, and he did that for for more than 30 minutes. So around 12:30, those 8 students, they allowed the 7th class students to sleep. They were like, okay, go on, you guys sleep. Put the blankets on your faces, cover the faces. And they covered Tadu Haro's face and took him to their dormitory. And over there, they kept him for 15 minutes. I don't know what happened in that dormitory, because that dormitory didn't have any CCTV camera. So don't know whatever happened there. But whatever happened in the 7th class dormitory, it was on the camera. So think about the security of the students, safety of the students living in the hostel. That thing, that ragging, it went for 3 hours plus 15 minutes in 10th class dormitory. And during those 3 hours, no one monitored that camera. Not a single person, not a warden, not a security guard. No one went there. Anyway, those 8 students, they kept him in their dormitory for roughly 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, one guy from 11th class, he was just passing through the hallway and he saw them. So he stopped them and he sent Tadu Haro back to his dormitory. So Tadu Haro went back to his dormitory even though his mattress was thrown away and his books were thrown away. So he just went there, kept everything inside him. He didn't tell anyone anything. He didn't even cry actually. He just went to his bed and tried to sleep. And it was around 12:30 to 1 o'clock around at that time when he went to his bed. He tried really hard to sleep, and that night it was like a nightmare for him. He couldn't sleep. Tried really hard, but couldn't. So he woke up around 4 o'clock, and at 5:40 a.m. in the morning of 1st of November, I was about to say 11th, but on 1st of November in the morning around 5:40, he was seen walking restlessly here and there in the hallway. He was looking very stressed. And then he went to a classroom and he wrote a note there which says, "Seniors tortured me a lot. I don't know what I'm gonna do now." And that was the last time when he was seen alive. Because around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, because it was an army school, and they do lot of PT and training in the morning times because they train the students there as an army person. And students who study there, their aim is to do something for the army, for the nation. So their training, their education, it all goes the way it should be, to be an army person, to be a soldier, or to be on a good position in army. So when it was the PT and training time in the morning on 1st of November 2025, Haro was missing from his dormitory. So they asked the students didn't know anything. Like, I mean, his classmates, they didn't know anything. So the school authorities start looking for him. They were searching for him here and there, and after a couple of minutes, they found his dead body in the campus, just couple of 100 meters away from the main building of the school. And the school authorities, they called his family and the nearest police station, which was Raksin police station. They called them and they were like, your son, your boy, he just jumped from the water tank and committed suicide. As I mentioned in the start of this video, that his family live roughly 300 kilometers away from the school. So they tried to reach the school as early as they could, and by the time they reached the school, his body was sent for the postmortem already. So they couldn't see his body, and the school authorities told them he just committed by jumping from the water tank. But when his father, Tadu Tani, he talked to the classmates, Tadu Haru's classmates, then he realized what exactly happened there. Then he realized about the torturing, about the ragging, about the bullying by the seniors. So the case was registered initially under section 194, which is for suicide. On 3rd of November, he filed an additional complaint against the school authorities and against those 8 10th class students. He pressed the charges for ragging and negligence. And they did the last rites of Tadu Haro on 3rd of November. So the family, they belong to Apatani community. They kind of, if someone passes away in the family, they don't go out of their homes for like for next 2 days. So their community, Tadu Haro's community, like I mean the family's community, because the family belong to Apatani community. So the Apatani community basically, they supported them a lot. They stood up, and Apatani Students Union (ASU), they protested. They reached out to CM, Chief Minister, and they kind of asked the school authorities to expel those students. But the school authorities didn't do much about that. And on 4th of November, those 8 students, they were sent to Juvenile Justice Board hearing, which is in Fasigat, which is a different district. So over there, the principal magistrate in Juvenile Justice Board, he gave their custody to the vice principal. And at that point, the question was like the vice principal is the part of authorities, and authorities were, they had like his father, he complained against authorities as well. So how come the principal magistrate of Juvenile Justice Board give authority to him to keep those 8 students in his custody? And they kind of filed CCL against those students, because CCL means children in conflict with law. So, like, no one was happy with that decision. No, everyone was protesting against them. The people who were supporting Tadu Haro in that case, they were very sad. They didn't like that decision, because the principal magistrate, how come he can give the authorities to keep those 8 students under their custody, especially because it was given to vice principal. So of course, so no one was happy with that decision. And um, Tadu Haru's family, they didn't go there because they were doing their rituals, which was like they don't go out for next 2 days. So when the family found out about whatever happened in that hearing, so Tadu Haro's sister Lunia Haro, and she has bit of Instagram following. She's a little bit famous, not much, but like she got around 50-60,000 followers. So she posted a video on her social media.
Seniors tortured me a lot, and I don't know what I will do now.
They allege intense pressure to deliver justice to the family of 12-year-old Tadu Haro.
He was only 12 years old, the same age as I was when I first held him in my arms.
And that video went viral. So after that video, lot of people throughout the country, like a lot of people supported them. Lot of people were marching for Tadu Haro for justice. And after watching that video, like I also found that video on internet, and that video gave me the idea to make the video about this topic. So that video went viral, and education and the education minister of the state, he also went there to the school premises, and he was also kind of blaming the authorities for not keeping the eye on the camera, even though the guards, the security guards, the wardens, they were getting the wages. So why they were not doing their duty properly? What about the student security? What about their safety? So that video, one video which got around 10 million views maybe, that video went viral, and it kind of put pressure on the police as well. So on 8th November, police arrested 5 people from the school staff, from the authorities, like the junior and senior house masters and the hostel superintendent, and 2 more people. So they were arrested on 8th of November. And then the second bail hearing, it was on 11th of November. Tadu Haro's family was, they were demanding like those 8 students, they should be sent to the juvenile home. Not, they shouldn't be in the custody of vice principal. They should be in the juvenile home. They should be there. So That day, something weird happened, something very strange. Cause the hearing was in Fasighat because there is only one juvenile justice board, and the principal magistrate, he sat there and he left the court without even passing an order. He was saying he recused himself. He said he's connected to both parties, so he can't give an order. So he just left. He kept people waiting there for 3 hours, more than 3 hours, but he just left. And he extended the custody under vice principal. He said because these students they have exams, so that's why they have to prioritize the exams and gave them custody, extended the custody. And there is one more question which Tadu Haro's sister, Nancy Haro, the second sister, she raised. She was like, what about those three students who started everything? Who were the main cause of whatever happened? Because those three students from 8th class, no one was talking about them during the whole case. And then on 15th of November, when there was the third bail hearing in Fasighat, which is a district in Arunachal Pradesh, on that day all those 8 students, they were granted bails. They got the bail very easily. The juvenile justice board said they are kids, they didn't mean to do that, it just happened by mistake, and they got the bails. And on 26th of November, those 5 people who were arrested from the school authorities, they also got the bail. The question is, what about Tadu Haro? What was his fault? He didn't do anything wrong to anyone. He was just studying there. And he was a strong boy because getting admission in an army school, it's not easy. People try. People do really, like, they do work hard but still don't get admission. He was strong enough to serve the army. He was aiming for that. He had a goal. What was his fault? What did he pay for being a brother of Miss Arunachal Pradesh brother? Anyway, this topic, ragging, bullying, it's always been a really serious and a really hard topic to talk about. So that was the last update I had, that those 5 people also got the bail. I hope he may rest in peace, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.